What's up, guys? Michael Ortiz Jr. from Massage Customs. Today, I want to talk to you about money. It's been on my mind a lot lately. My wife and I are looking into refinancing our house down to a 15-year mortgage. And we've been deciding, like, do we want to take some equity out on the house? Do we not? And ultimately, after talking about, oh, let's take 40, let's take 60, let's take 20, and trying to figure out what we would want to do with that, we decided not to take any equity out on the house. The reason being is because like 6 years ago, my wife and I really got our stuff together. We ended up paying $26,000 in debt off in 7.5 months to become debt free, except for our home. And what I learned through that process is that when you become responsible with what you have, when you become responsible with the money that you have, more comes to you. Right? And I believe that's a universal principle, right? The less responsible we are with the resources that we have, the less we are given and the more we struggle, right? And it seems like this never-ending battle because we're not doing good things with what we have. I believe that to be true with anything, with your job, with money, with anything. When you're responsible, people give you more, right? Like when your boss gives you a task, he gives you more to do, you end up making more money because you're responsible with what they entrusted you with. So, same goes with money. The reason we decided not to take out any equity on our house is because I don't believe it's a financially responsible decision, and I don't believe that it's going to be a blessing. And even though we could really use that money to pay off some things, we got some things coming up, that some expenses like an air conditioning unit that's eventually going to need to be replaced. Even though those things are coming up, we decided we're not going to take the money out. We're just going to figure it out. We're going to work harder, save up the money, and pay it off whenever it comes up. And I want you guys to think about that. I want to just say that because I don't think anything that I'm doing right now would be possible if I didn't make the decision to start doing good things with my money. Start being responsible with it, right? Once I started paying off my debt, that's when my clientele started to grow, right? I read a book called Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey, and we got on a budget. We made a plan. I found out that we had an extra $1,500 a month after bills and food and everything back then. And I had and we went into savings. We were constantly going into savings every month, and we had an extra $1,500. And that's what happens when we're not on a budget. Right? So we got on a budget, we set a plan. The plan was for 15 months we'd be debt free. It took 7.5 months. Things just started happening. Money started just to come to us. Right? Like, for example, once my wife's grandfather found out that we were going to be, that we were paying off debt, I was going to sell my wife's car, take the money, put most of it towards debt, and just buy like a little hoopty or something, And he found out. He ended up giving us basically a brand new car. It had 28,000 miles on it. He just gave us the car, paid off. So I was able to take the whole $5,000 that I sold her car for and put that all towards the debt. So like stuff like that just kept happening, and it allowed us to. My clientele went from 1 to 2 massages a month to 7 to 8 a week. Went from making 100 to 200 to 13 to 1,500 a month extra on the side going to people's homes, and I was throwing all that money at debt. So that's when my clientele started to grow. That's when I finally had the confidence to go out on my own. Not only was I debt free when I did it, but I already had a pretty solid clientele built up on the side, so that I knew that I could afford rent here, at least with my side clientele, even if nobody came here. So my message today is really pay attention. Like, I see so many people struggling with money, even myself sometimes when I decide not to make good decisions. So many people are struggling with money. If you guys can get on a budget, start doing correct things with your money, stop spending frivolously or irresponsibly, start saving, I just think the universe is going to come behind you and start rewarding you for your good behavior.